Hey, and welcome to my why low calorie diets are absolute filth and you should avoid them at all costs. So let me share my screen and let's get into a little presentation I made. This is how passionate I am about avoiding these things. Boom. So let me move my little picture out of the way. So again, knowledge is power, and this is the one thing in this day and age with information overload. We get told 1,000 different things. Don't get me wrong, you lose weight on a low calorie diet, but it's not optimal. It's not what you need. So when we talk about low calorie diets, obviously everyone knows that for women, your kind of standard maintenance is roughly 2,000. For men, it's 2,500. And yeah, obviously there's a huge disparity, and that obviously depends on all different things from your height, your weight, your muscle mass. There's so much that comes into it, but say on average it's that. And regarding very low calorie diets, that's when you're dropping down like 1,000 calories underneath that amount. So for guys, if you're just kind of dieting on like 1,500 calories or less, and for ladies, if you're dieting on sort of like anything under kind of 1,100, 1,000 calories, yeah, that's when you're getting down into that obviously super low calorie slash crash diet amount. Realistically, the only reason that you will ever be going this low is because, quite simply, you don't really have an understanding of nutrition, of how obviously your body utilizes, say, calories, your body requirement for certain calories, and then also on how to actually lose fat. That's what it all comes down to, is just a lack of knowledge. Now, don't get me wrong, some people will need to diet on super low calories, but this is usually, say, bodybuilders who are looking to get to like filthy low digits with regards to fat loss, who are trying to get like so fat, like so shredded that they're literally, you can see veins in their arse cheeks like popping out. But for most people, you should never, ever, ever even approach those amounts. If you want to get a good, healthy body, where you look nice and lean, like quite defined, like relatively athletic for men, and wearing that nice dancer's physique, the hourglass figure, you never need to go down that low. You don't. And I'll get into why now. So essentially what it all comes down to is, for all of us, we all want fat loss. We all want to learn how to burn fat. And quite simply, when it comes down to that, is there is a sweet spot. And now what this sweet spot is, obviously it will be unique depending on each person. But what you want from that sweet spot is there's a perfect kind of amount where you have like energy so that you can work out, you can train nice and hard, but also you burn fat at a really efficient rate. Now, that's what you want, because without energy to actually train hard, you're going to make it really, really difficult to actually improve your body shape. You don't just want fat loss. Like, everyone always talks like this. Everyone wants to say lose weight. But at the same time, you want to lose weight, but improve your actual body. By improving your body, you want nice, that kind of, like I said before, that defined athletic or like dancery figure. And that essentially all comes from stimulating muscles effectively, so you're having good workouts. Now boom, this is why not. So again, energy is everything. And if you've ever been on a super low calorie diet, you'll know the struggle when you wake up with like brain fog and you literally struggle to even string a sentence together, like when you've just got no energy, you can't do anything. So the actual thought of going and busting out a workout is just ridiculous. And again, you don't just want to lose fat, which, well, obviously we do, but at the same time, you want to improve your body shape and you want to enjoy the process of losing fat. So you don't just want to be in this horrible state for, say, 6 to 8 weeks where, yeah, you do lose fat, but then you just get really scrawny and you look really unattractive and unhealthy and quite sick. which is, if you ever saw me on days when I'd weigh in, when I'd be super be dehydrated, and super skinny, because I just spent, that's it, the last 8 weeks just doing like stupid amounts of cardio and not really eating that much. I'd be like, I literally get me so shredded. But everyone used to say to me, like, you actually look really unhealthy. My girlfriend would say to me, she prefers it when I'm bigger, I'm more muscular, I look more masculine. So again, you don't just want to get that skinny, scrawny look. Now, and that's what we're talking about with your workouts. But so when you go on super low calories, your body then starts to try and conserve as much energy as possible. And again, calories are just energy. So you will literally do things slower. If you've ever been on a super low calorie diet, you will know this. Like, you almost breathe slower. Like, everything you do is almost difficult. So you will literally do everything you can. You'll just want to sit down and stay there. So your body will make you, like, you will move less. You will genuinely not get up as much. Your action, just your movement like this with my hands, all this stuff, you will stop this. And you'll become a lot more sedentary, because your body starts going into like self-protective mode, and your body will think, you might actually be dying, or you might be starving. So it's like, it will do everything it can in order to save as many calories as physically possible. And then what also means then is you're actually burning less. So a huge aspect to calorie burn over your course of your day is your NEAT, your next non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And this is the amount of calories you burn outside of just training. So that's like walking around, that's just like moving, that's just like random little like movements and stuff that you do, like dancing and just like anything, like twitching and all that sort of stuff. Your body will just literally try and cut all of that out, because subconsciously your body is just like, well, I'm dying now, I'm starving, you will not do this anymore. So you will genuinely burn less calories on a day-to-day basis. And then not only this, I don't know if any of you have done this, but this is, I put up a post like this earlier, and it was, your hunger hormones will just go completely out of whack. Now, you've got your leptin and your ghrelin. Your ghrelin is what makes you hungry. So when you get that thing, when you sort of stomach's rumbling, you're like, oh, that's your ghrelin kicking and going, like, you're hungry, you need to eat. And your leptin is when you get full, your leptin is released, and that makes you, that tells your brain, it's like, oh, you've eaten enough now, like, stop. And what you'll find is, I used to get this so badly, is that your hunger hormones and that, your leptin and ghrelin just get blown completely out of the water. So they don't release at the right time. So you're always hungry and you can never fill up. And I had this, like, after fights where I'd gone so hard on my dieting and trained so much as well. I'd get, like I said, I'd get like filthy skinny. I'd get like filthy shredded. I wouldn't look that good. I'd look horrible and scrawny. But then I'd binge eat so much on the other side of it, because I couldn't fill up. I literally ate sometimes till I was sick, and I'd be like, why? Like, this is just weird. And it would like spook me a bit. But I could genuinely not fill up. And this is the thing, is because, again, your body's just like, no, you need to get in as much energy as possible, you need to get as much food as possible, so we can store that all as fat. So that you don't get into this situation again. Like, your bodies are complex organisms, and that's one thing that you really have to understand as well. Boom. So what to do instead? This is what you should be doing to save any of this. And the first thing I will say is, just don't do drugs. Like, I think that's just a great little takeaway for everyone. Just don't do drugs, kids. Stay in school. It's not really any reason why I put that in. It just made me laugh when I was looking for a picture. But then I guess, like, with regards to drugs, don't do these fat loss supplements. Let's say that fat loss supplements and this and those drugs. Don't do those sort of like fat loss for these supplements and drugs, because all you're doing is you're wasting your money. They're basically just like high caffeine, and they just get you buzzing so you don't eat. That's pretty much that's the down and down of it. So essentially, instead of eating a rice cake and a tin of tuna like 6 times a day, like, I don't know if you've seen that video of it, guys. Like, I ate fish and a rice cake, and then I ate some fish, and then fish and a rice cake. But that, anyway, I'll link that in the description. Free jokes. So find out your basically your total daily energy expenditure. You can do this by, there's 1,001 calorie calculators online. Go on like bodybuilding.com or Legion Athletics, or one of those. And what I'd say is, just you put down in, You can put in all of your statistics, so like your height, your age, your weight, all that sort of stuff. And then, to be fair, on those you can say what your goal is. If your goal was like maintenance, fat loss, muscle gain, whatever, so don't worry maybe about these, subtract the 500 for fat loss, but you can put that into those. And what I'd say is just take an average, maybe use a couple of those, and then just take the average amount of whatever those is. So if one of them's like 2300, one of them's like 2500, one of them's like 2400, we'll just use 2400 again, because these are just like standard like algorithms. They're not unique to you as a person. So anyway, what I say is take the number from that, put it into MyFitnessPal, ensure that you're eating between 1.5 and 2.5 calories grams per kilo body weight of protein. So make sure you hit your calories and make sure you hit your protein. Don't worry about your carbs and your fats. Have them as they fall, and then basically just track that for I don't know how I put it like this, obviously I can't spell or type, but yeah, so basically just tuck that into MyFitnessPal, track that for about a week to 10 days and just see how you get on with that. Now the thing is all about this is just try and be a bit more consistent, try and nail those calories like daily, try and even on the weekend, ladies and gents, which is the one thing that throws everybody off. So take that number, put it into your MyFitnessPal, obviously find out your number of protein. So if we say 2 grams per kilo, so if you're 75 kilos, it'll be 150 grams, put that in, or the closest number on percentage on that, and then just try and hit those numbers every single day, or get as close to as you can. Like aim to be within like sort of like 100 either side of it, like every day, and then just see how your body's responds to that. So if you get to the end of the week and you're a pound down, perfect. Just stay on that number until that number starts to plateau, until your weight starts to plateau. If you're putting on weight, just drop that number down by 100 or so. And then again, just track it again for another week, 10 days, and see how your body responds. And the thing is, with all of this, all you're just doing is analyzing and adjusting, analyzing and adjusting. So as you're going forward, that's all you're looking to do, analyze, adjust, and you just go from there. And honestly, this is probably the simplest way to set up your fat loss diet without going like full hog and just dropping straight into like a filthy calorie deficit. Because honestly, things that I went through here, like with hormones and all that, honestly, you'll end up going back to square one. This is like what they do in yo-yo diets, is you go on these filthy low calorie diets for a bit, you'll then break or hit your goal, and then you'll come out and you'll binge at the other end of it because all your hormones and all this stuff are out of whack, and boom, you end up going back, but then putting on more weight than when you first started, so you've got even further to go, and you end up in this horrible endless cycle. And I can't actually stress how frustrating it really is, because I've done it and so many of my clients before they came to me were doing it, and now they're all making such great results because they're not going through this anymore. And as a result, they're feeling better, they feel more confident, and that's the thing. It's huge. So much more comes into just weight loss and that than just the actual weight loss. There's so many benefits you get outside of that as well. Anyway, so I think we'll just call that there. I don't want to go on too long. But yeah, I hope that helped, and I hope you had some good little takeaways from that. And yeah, if there's any questions or anything that you have, obviously just shoot me a message. But if you enjoyed that, just give me a little thanks, bro. Oh yeah, I always forget to do this at the start. And if you are watching this live, just give me a little yo. Bit late. Wait, yeah, have a great evening, everyone.